official opening ceremony of the 1,000 Drums for Solidarity kicked off today, marking the official start of a vibrant festival. Now, the event features a packed lineup, including workshops, a book fair, art exhibitions, a kids village, film screenings, and even live entertainment. Well, our reporter Mbalenhle Mthethwa was there covering the story, and of course, she joins me here in studio to give us all the juicy details. Happy Human Rights Day, Mbalenhle. Welcome to studio. So talk to us about this 1,000 Drums Solidarity Festival. What is it all about?
Well, certainly, we had 2 hours of drums, and these drums are not just drums that are being beaten for no apparent reason, but they are beaten in order to show solidarity with many nations on the African continent that are going through conflict situations where human rights violations are actually underway as we speak right now. Some of those areas include the Congo, which has been in the media and featured quite prominently in the media due to the unrest that we've seen there and the fight for resources over there. We've also seen the drums also just saying that the people they're saying that they're also beating the drums in solidarity with Sudan, as well as what is happening in the Gaza Strip and so on. So there is a call for a cessation of the violence, you know, and the human rights violations and the mass deaths, and you know, which affect many people. Now, with regards to the festival, it is in its second year, and the organizers are somewhat happy with the turnout, saying that they are seeing more people than they had the previous year. So it seems as though it is growing popularity within the South African community. But as you know, it is not only the only event that is being held today to commemorate Human Rights Day, but it is competing with many other events that are happening all around the country. Now, you will hear in the background, these are the drums, these are the stalls that are actually being held, that are there, and there are people who are there who are fashion designers, you know, people
showcasing their art,
of course, showcasing their products, and also selling. There's a market where people are able to trade. But what is also quite important that the provincial government has actually launched, and this is an exhibition in honor of Mama Winnie Madikizela Mandela. We had a lecture which kick-started the events leading up to Human Rights Day. This lecture was there in order to remind South Africans of the contribution that Mama Winnie Madikizela Mandela made to the struggle and in the fight for liberation. And the MEC for Finance and Economic Development, Lebogang Maile, is saying that there is somewhat of an effort to erase her contribution to the struggle, and therefore this lecture being intended to remind and to rewrite her name in the books, in history books, and to always remember that she fought and that she was one of the people who was also tortured in the women's prison. That is actually there at the Constitutional Hill where the festival is taking place. There's an exhibition this time around in her honor, you know. So that is what is happening there. There's also an arts festival, or rather film festival, that is also happening alongside that, you know, where films that remind South Africans about the significance of this day. Now, while today it might be called Human Rights Day, in 1960, the people who are there are saying that we should always remember the reason why we even have Human Rights Day, which was formerly Sharpeville Day.
Yes.
Sharpeville Day, because in 1960, people went to the police station to fight against having to carry what was a demeaning document for many Africans who were not citizens of the country because of the laws in the country that their then subjugated black South Africans and forced them to carry what was called a dom pass. Now, this was almost like a passport, your permission to be in a certain space. And if you did not have that document, you were not allowed to be anywhere, and you could have been jailed for that reason. So this was the injustice of the time. And we're seeing the films that are actually being played out today, reminding South Africans that it's not just Human Rights Day, but it is Sharpeville Day, because those who went there were fighting for their right to be citizens of South Africans and to be recognized by the state as citizens of the country. And we all know that over 60 people were shot in the back by the police at the time. And we also hear that there is a documentary that is also going to be airing later on today, which speaks to the two missing family members that are unaccounted for. While there are over 60 people who have been accounted for, there are some families who are still really yearning for answers, and who are who seeking, who would love to know what would have happened to those families. But the call from many is that we must never forget that Human Rights Day stems from Sharpeville Day and what happened there, but also the contributions that were made by many in order to fight for the liberation that we now enjoy, which is the freedom of movement, the respect for human dignity, and laws that actually try to protect human dignity and livelihoods.
All right, so these drums, these 1,000 drums, Mbalenhle, are going to be beating for the next 3 days, I understand. Take us through that whole 3-day process, and what other people and those that actually want to attend can actually expect.
It's actually a free festival, so people can walk in as and when they please.
Oh, great.
There are a lot of activities. Obviously, there is the market, the crafts markets that I told you about.
And the drumming.
And the drumming. Now, the drumming starts early in the morning, right? And you have someone on the stage, and I'm sure the visuals are going to play out to show you that.
Yes.
You have someone on the stage talking about, let's say, they say beat once for Palestine, right? And then we also have someone else saying beat twice for Congo.
I see.
Beat twice, 3 times for the Sudan, and this is just the solidarity and just a reminder of the atrocities that continue to happen within the continent. And obviously this is a call for many to be aware of what is happening there. We spoke to someone from the Congolese Association who said that they would like to call on South Africa not to be quiet in the same way that they were not quiet when apartheid was upon them, and not to be quiet in regard to the issues that are taking place in the DRC, and saying that they would are calling on South Africans to also speak up in the manner that they did against apartheid and fight for the Congolese and the livelihoods of Congolese there.
Absolutely. Social cohesion everywhere, in every aspect. Mbalenhle, thank you so much for taking time to get to studio and of course share some of those good stories with us. That is SABC News reporter in studio with us, Mbalenhle Mthethwa, here on the 1,000 Drums for Solidarity Festival currently taking place at Constitution.